Hello, family members. Welcome to today's vlog or process or whatever I'll call it. But I'm trying to document the process of applying for American visa, and I'm starting the process today, as in right now. So I just decided to just, of course, carry you guys along through the entire process. So the first thing first, you have to go online and apply. Uh, and get your DS-160 form to fill the DS-160 form, right? So you just go online to their website, U.S. immigration website. You get the link. They have a link there. You click the link and it will take you to the DS-160 form, which you're supposed to fill. It's basically a form that they ask you all your information in this life, coming from your name, your parents, everything, your history, travel history, everything. They're going to ask you that. So I have my other phone here. I'm just going to be doing the process with this other phone, and I'll try to carry you guys along as much as I can. So let's just start. So this is the link you click on. That takes you to the place where you have to fill your DS-160 form. The link is available online, but someone sent it to me. So once you click on that link, this page opens. You have to choose a country from where you will be attending the interview from. Of course, I'm in Cameroon, so I just went to the place of select country. Once you tap on that, a list of so many countries are going to come up. I just scroll down looking for C. I went to C and I saw Cameroon, Yaoundé. That's where I chose because that's where I'm living, right? So once you choose Cameroon Yaoundé, automatically the page will reload. It's going to come back here where it says that you should enter this code as seen on the screen, that code. Once you put in that code, there is a place now for start application or retrieve application. I'm going to talk about this retrieving of application later in the course of this video. But for now, we are starting the application from scratch. So this is what I'm talking about, start application. You click on the red, below has retrieve an application, right? So once you click on start an application, it takes you to this other page where you just have to scroll and go to the bottom part where there is a question that says the name of your mother's mother's given names. That's like the code that is going to give you access to this particular application when you're trying to retrieve it. So you cannot forget it. This particular question is very important because you will need it. Fast forward to many hours later, I'm done with the application, filling in all the information. At some point, I just had to drop my camera because it's like I was not seeing well when I was doing it on this one. So basically, they ask you all sorts of questions, and this part is the most important part about this American embassy stuff, right? The visa stuff, because it's from the information you put here that they review to decide if they're going to give you a visa or not. You see that interview that you go and do that day, it's just for the formalities of it. How well you convince them. If they have any doubt, the person will already reviewed this DS-160 form. If they have any doubt, they're going to write it down there. So when you go and meet the interviewer, you give them the form, because you're supposed to print out this form and take it to the embassy, the hard copy. So once you go and give them, there's a code there, they put it into their computer and the entire document comes out. So the person who has already reviewed that form, they have already known if they'll give you a visa or not. So all that thing that people are just doing there is just, let's just fulfill righteousness. So you have to be very careful when you're filling this form, especially the information. That's why it is best that you fill it yourself. You're not, no other person is supposed to fill the form for you. But you know how we Africans are. Some of us don't like online. Some of us just prefer paying people to fill the form for us. There is even a last place at the form that says, was this form filled by you or some other person? If you tick that it was filled by some other person, automatically the form gets rejected because they believe that you are the one who can tell your story better. You're the one who's going to say the truth. So you're supposed to fill the form yourself. For my African people who don't like online things, and I know that some of us, a lot of us here in Cameroon, we have our people in the States and they help us fill the form, but they should always send you back the application, right? So while I was filling the form online, you guys saw a place where they say retrieve application, and there was another option of start an application, right? So the person who is filling for you in the US should put in everything they want to put in, and then they save the information, right? Then they send you the login details to retrieve the application. So you will have to go through all the pages just to make sure that the person is in line and submit it from Cameroon. That's the trick. That's the trick, oh, family members. I'm giving you guys plenty tricks, because if the person from abroad submits it, the tendency is that it would automatically get rejected. Not rejected as in the application get rejected too. The visa will get rejected because they already know that you're not the one who filled the form, because you cannot be in Cameroon going to Yaoundé embassy for a visa and then the location of where it was submitted is showing in the US. So obviously whites are smarter than we think. So that's one thing I just want people to know. My Cameroonian brothers who are trying to do this process, please make sure you submit it from Cameroon. Do not submit it from the US, right? And then make sure you have an idea of whatever answers you have put in there. Cram it in your head, because they are going to ask you during your interview. You don't know what they're going to ask you, right? For example, there is a place that they put them um, um, your estimated date of travel and when you plan to return to your country. Cram that one on your top of your head, because they will ask you why do you want to visit the US? When do you plan on going? When do you plan on coming back? And if you say something that contradicts to what is in front of them, they already know that you're lying. You want a japa, you don't want to come back to this country. Anyway, yeah, so just make sure you master all the informations, and then this information is so key to them because they really keep it. If you have ever traveled before, right, and they denied you a visa, they're going to ask you which year did you apply for American visa, why were you denied, you're supposed to state the reason why you were denied and all of that. So they have a track record of you, even if you have never gone to America, provided that you have applied before. They have a track record. So when you change certain vital informations on the DS61 form, for example, maybe last year you applied for American visa and you put that what can I say? You put that you have no family relative abroad, and then this year you're coming to apply, and you put that you have family relative abroad. Then they're going, because once you choose that option, other questions will pop up like how close the relative is. It your mother? Is it your father? Is it your brother, sister, external relation, whatever? And if you go and choose one of them, they'll ask you for the person's name, the person's social security number. Yeah, I think so. The person, all the person's information will come out. So imagine that last year you say you don't have a family relative. This year you're saying you have a family relative, and then they'll ask you for the family relative's name, complete name, and social security number, and then they punch their computer and they see that the person has been in America for the longest time now. So you did not know that your family relative was there since last year. Anyway, that's it about the form. I just said let me throw that in here before we move to the next stage, right? The next stage now, you have to go and pay money at the bank before you can be able to book, before you can be able to book interview dates. Yes. So let's move forward. The next thing I had to do was to print out the DS160 form I had already filled online and then go to the bank to go and pay the interview fee. Now, I knew that this was the only document I needed to go and pay the interview fee, but lol, just keep watching, you're gonna see. Give me envelope.
Small envelope.
Why would you want to enter now? Now 100. I mean, you want to take me all my cash now. I'll pay back. Wait, they might better give you 500. Give me 200. My pay back.
No.
Thank you. I got to EcoBank and finally paid the money after a lot of up and downs. So you all, I'm just coming back from the bank and the market. See, there's one money I paid at the documentation that is paining my chest. I had to pay 4K for them to print that for me. Short, I'm going to talk about this some other time, but that money is paining my chest because I did not plan for it. Fast forward to the day my mom and I were traveling to Yaoundé for the interview. Oh, did I tell you guys I was doing the application for my mom and I? I'm sorry. Yes, I was doing the application for the two of us. Now let's talk about the 4,000 francs I spoke about previously. So what I knew was I needed just the DS160 form to go and pay the interview fee, but that was not the case. The American embassy has delegated that process of selection of interview dates and collection of passport to another company. So you have to go to that company's website and create a profile. Is from that profile that they are going to send you the details, the bank information details and everything. So that was what they told me to go and create at Glass Touch when I went to the bank to go and pay. They told me no, I have to go and create that. So I went to Glass Touch and that guy collected me that amount of money. Can you guys imagine? I was so pissed for something that I could do myself, oh, just because I did not have the information. That's what pissed me off, because I did not want to spend any 1 franc. I've already done my application by myself. Anyway, so my mother's love of her life obviously went and dropped us off at Half Mile, where we took a car from there to Douala. We wanted to go and take a bus from Douala to Yaoundé because we did not have time to waste about. So at this point, we're already in the car going to Douala. Once we got to Douala, we just went straight away to Phoenix. We bought a ticket. We're waiting for the VIP bus. This is their VIP waiting section area. So we sat here waiting for the bus to get full when they are going to call us to board into the bus. Fast forward to about 1 hour later, the bus was full. They called us. We sat in the bus, and then the car took off to Yaoundé. We got to Yaoundé at about 5 p.m., just about the time when we wanted to get to Yaoundé. There was no one to get to Yaoundé when it was really late, and the person who was to pick us up told us to drop by the road. Thank you. Thank you. A massive shout out to my sister's Banya who came and picked up my mom and I, and she made us feel at home in her house. She drove us to her place, cooked food for us. The mama went and my mother said, "Lomo, let's start eating. No, hungry fiki man." She cooked us fufu and eru, delicious fufu and eru with so many obstacles. Fast forward to the next day in the morning where we had to go for our interview. So at this point, we were already dressed, ready. I don't know, my mother was looking for behind there in her handbag. But we were ready to leave the house and they said we should take breakfast first. That's how we now went for breakfast. We saw bread, egg, tea, pap and akra. My mother is like, eh? All of this just for what? My mother was like, Elomo, I beg, let's be eating and be going back to our house in Limbe before these people come and intoxicate us with luxury lifestyle. Anyway, we ate. Then her husband now went to drop us off at the embassy. It started raining before we could get to the embassy, and family members, Yaoundé's climate, it's a very off climate in this Cameroon. But anyway, I was prepared. I had an umbrella in my bag because I just knew that the Yaoundé's climate can feel you at any time, right? What we have in Limbe is definitely not what is happening in Yaoundé. And can you even see the flood on the road? Our beloved capital. Now, so na they do for Yaoundé. Victorine Bitakwe. That's what they do for here. Like, can you see your town? Can you see your town? Anyway, this is just for fun. I mean, most towns in Cameroon obviously flood like this when it's raining, even if in Limbe. But there's just an expectation about Yaoundé that is supposed to be high standards compared to all the other towns, but it is what it is. Fast forward after the interview, the visa was granted. So this is the email I received saying that my passport was ready for pickup. Now, when your visa is being granted, you pay for your visa fee and then you deposit your passport. 1 week after or thereabouts, they're going to send you an email telling you that the visa has been stamped and your passport is ready for pickup. So this is the email I'm talking about. So you now go to the OIS service where you go and book for a date to pick up your passport. Fast forward to the shege I saw in picking up this passport. I had to go back to Yaoundé 1 week after to pick up this passport. And it was a whole struggle to even locate the OIS service building. But anyway, we got there finally and we collected our passport. United States of America visa. Now it was time for the preparations to begin. So the main reason that was taking us to the States was because my cousin was getting married and she had delegated the choosing of her wedding fabric, the traditional wedding fabric, to myself and my mom. My mom obviously doesn't know anything concerning fabrics and so obviously the thing fell on me. We had to sew cabas for all the female family members who were attending the wedding and then jumpers for the male family members who were attending the wedding. So it was a huge contract lying on my shoulders. I had to first of all go and source out for the materials. Then I went to Douala. This one, a darker version. I like this design, but a darker version.
Then you use the satin. The satin will bring down the color.
At this point, I'd really settled for the fabric I wanted. So all those from the paternal side of the bride were wearing burgundy lace. And then the groom, he's not a Cameroonian, the groom is a Jamaican, but we decided to sew his mom and his grandmom kaba, because kaba is like a Cameroonian traditional outfit that we mostly wear from the Sawa region of Cameroon. And you all know your girl is a proud Sawa girl. So we had to represent. So you saw us taking some teal green fabrics. That was for the groom's mom and grandmom. So we bought a lot of fabrics from these guys. See, the whole of this market is dominated with Nigerians. Once you enter, you start hearing Igbo. They start speaking Igbo country talk. But yeah, I got to this guy. I came back to this place like two other times to add more fabrics, because there are always some people that must give 9 minute orders. Yeah, but for this day, I think I bought like 80 yards or 90 yards. I cannot even remember exactly, but I bought quite a lot. The guy had to go and even source from other neighbors around him. And I also bought the satin that I was going to use for the lining underneath the clothes. Then fast forward to the teal green that we wanted to sew for our Jamaican in-laws, so that they should know that we are welcoming them into the Cameroonian side. This is how we dress here with the Sawa people. Anyway, I bought all of it and it was time we left Mache Congo with all of these. Thank you so much to my sweetest boo who helped me out, because I don't know how I've carried all of these things from the market to outside to reaching Limbe. I don't even know how I've carried it, because it was actually a lot. Some things were at the boot of the car, and then I remembered vlogging when we were putting the last ones in here. So thank you so much. We got to Limbe. Fast forward to like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, the tailor was done sewing the cabas and we had collected it, and my mom was just checking them out one by each. And I was like, ah, that's my kaba, give me, give me, give me, give me, that's my own. So what she did was she was writing the names of the people as she was sewing. She was tagging the names. So you can see a Carol, it has my name tagged on it, so I know that that's mine. Just so to avoid confusion when we get to the US, so everybody can just pick in their cabas. These are the ones for our Jamaican in-laws. See, my tailor killed it. Shout out to Winnie. She was so good. I mean, she did all of this in less than no time for all of these fabrics. So what you see me doing here, I was just writing the names of people who gave their measurements 9 minutes. There must be always those people that when you're shouting, send your measurements, they are not hearing. They came and sent their own 9 minutes, like 5 people. So she did not have the time to tag their names on their cabas. So I was just writing it with a pen, and then I took a stapler and stapled it to the cabas, just so that everybody is satisfied when we get there. So my mom and I at this point were just packing all of the things, the cabas, the jumpers, into our famous Ghana must go, and then I was just weighing them to make sure that each bag is the exact weight, because we don't want to go to the airport and we receive embarrassment. So we needed to weigh all our bags because they were going to be a lot. So I just did that back and forth, weighing. Okay, no, this one is more than, oh yeah, remove, add some things here. That's just what my mom and I were doing here. I weighed the other bag. Okay, oh yeah, this one is okay. Okay, let's go back to this one. How many are we removing from here? No, this one is more than, okay, remove. After that, while we're done with that, I went now to sort out the eru. Now, this is eru that has been dried without sun. It's been dried under the shade. And I've said this in my last travel prep vlog, that if you want to travel with eru, you want to dry eru to travel, please do not dry it under the sun, because it's going to make the eru to be so dark when they are cooking it. But if you dry it under a shelter, it retains the greenish color. I don't know if you get the point, right? This is what Nigerians call afang. We in Cameroon call eru, and it's a delicacy, yeah, in Cameroon. I dare say it is one of Cameroon's most popular dishes, or most delicious dishes. I don't know. Kati people, argue with them. Anyway, my mom got on this other side and started packing up crayfish into plastic wrappings. Now, family members, after I was done with the area, I wanted to start sealing them. You see me sitting by the distributor cord, and I realized that my sealing machine effed me up. Like, it just stopped working on these days. So what I had to do was I had to now transfer all the areas I had already packed in the wrappings into Ziploc bags. Now, I was so skeptical about packing them in the Ziploc bag, because we had limited Ziploc bags that was going to fit into all those things. So I had to now be compressing the area inside. My mom was doing the job at the other side, compressing, While we got done, I started now labeling each pack, going to the different people in the state, just writing their names on pieces of paper and just pasting it so that there is no problem. We don't want to reach there and we're confused. So while I was doing this, my mom on the other side had to also do the same thing I was doing with the arrow. She had to now put them back into a Ziploc bag because our sealing machine wasn't working. So that's why I had to compress some arrows so that I could give chance, so I could have some free Ziploc bags for her to put some of the crayfish. Fast forward to the day of the travel, my sisters had come over to help with the packing process because at this point I was tired. People had sent things, a lot of people had sent things. You see dry fish, you see like snails, egusi, like there was just a lot of things that people had sent. The bags were many. We ended up having like I think 10 bags or 9 bags thereabouts. I've forgotten exactly. But the bags were a lot, a whole lot. Like the car was filled with bags. I'm like, hey. American Embassy, Johnny just come, people have landed. You guys are going to see something here. Anyway, my mom was all dressed up and it was time to take the leave. I'm sure by this point, if you have not figured out that it was just my mom that was traveling, sorry for you. I just carried you guys along with me through the entire process. On this day, I was busy baking my cakes behind here. Bye. The cake go come on. No, cake slice no dey. You see that cake slice there for some side. My mother's grandkids also came to tell her bye. My sweet brother-in-law drove her off to the airport, and my sister, the third born, who is the official seen off at the airport crew, she went with them. If you have any doubt or questions concerning the visa application process, please feel free to reach out to me at Elomo Carol official on Instagram. I'm going to answer you based off from the knowledge I have and the experience I gathered doing this, right? My mom was a passenger princess throughout this process. The only thing she did was to disburse funds and carry herself to Yaoundé for the interview. But I'm glad I helped her because my mom is not so much of a social media kind of person, smartphone, internet, so she wouldn't even know where to go to look for information and all of that. We both rehearsed possible questions and answers they were going to ask her during the interview. So all of that, if you want to know, just reach out to me on Instagram, right? So it was about time and they left. My sister took a free, Ghana must go back. Should in case something is left at the airport, she's going to bring it back in this house because nothing shall be wasted in the land. We shall eat it. Thank you for watching. Bye.